I'm Chelsea Sherrod here with our NESN Patriots beat writer Zach Cox at Patriots practice on Wednesday as they prepare for the rematch against the Jets. They're coming off of the bye week. And Zach, how big of a game is this for the Pats? Not just as far as the divisional race, we'll get to that because it's pretty tight, but as far as the Patriots offense just kind of getting where it needs to be, especially coming off the bye.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, you look at how the Patriots offense performed in the 2 games before the bye. Yeah. They were bad. They were arguably their 2 worst games of the season from an offensive perspective. Right. The O-line couldn't block. Mac Jones played poorly. I thought there were a lot of questionable play calling decisions in those games, and the Patriots only scored 2 offensive touchdowns total in those wins against the Jets and the Colts. They were still able to win both of those games because they played really well on defense and on special teams, but they need this offense to operate at a bit of a higher level if they're going to have any chance of making the playoffs and potentially advancing. The offensive level just is not high enough right now, even with how well the defense has been playing. Yeah,
definitely. And one guy that they did not have in those last 2 wins is David Andrews, obviously from the blindsided block in the Bears game. Yep. But he's coming back this week for this Jets game. What does that mean for this Patriots offensive line moving forward?
I think it's significant. I think having David Andrews back in there in the center of that offensive line could really stabilize things for that group, because really before those last 2 games, the offensive line wasn't a gigantic issue for the Patriots. Yeah. At the very least, It was not the disaster that it was during training camp. Right tackle has been an issue for them all season. That will continue to be something that they really need to improve. Getting David Andrews back is not going to help whoever's playing at that spot. Yeah. But I think it should help Cole Strange, their rookie left guard, who really struggled in both of the games that Andrews missed. And I don't think that's a coincidence. When you have a guy who's that experienced and that just solid in that center role as Andrews is, and then you remove him, I think it really hurt Strange. You just look at it, those 2 games were the worst that Cole Strange has played in his young career. He was benched in both of them. Maybe it wasn't purely because Andrews wasn't there. He did say that there were some fundamental and techniques things that he just wasn't doing properly in those games. But I think getting Andrews back is really going to help both Strange and that unit as a whole as we come into the second half here.
Yeah, absolutely, especially going up against that Jets defense. And we know how
Quinnen
strong
Williams in
the
middle there. Yeah, it was a tough go for Strange against that group 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 6 sacks, 8 QB hits in that last game against the Jets. So having David Andrews back will be big for the Patriots. One vet that they won't be getting back, though, Zach, is Ty Montgomery. He only played 1 game this season, and it seems like that's going to be the only game that he does play this year.
Yeah, according to a report today from Jim McBride over at the Boston Globe, Ty Montgomery will not return this season. He suffered a shoulder injury in that season opener. I don't think it's a major surprise to anybody because he had not been back at practice at all since that injury, even though he'd been eligible to return from IR for a couple of weeks now. I don't think it's really going to change anything for this Patriots offense that he won't be in there, but it just removes another kind of versatile depth piece. He's a guy who can play running back, he can play wide receiver, he can return kicks. Now, he started the season as the Patriots' James White replacement, as that 3rd down back. That role has since kind of moved over to Ramondre Stevenson, and Stevenson has been very productive in that role. He's been probably the Patriots' offensive MVP so far, but you have to worry a little bit just about his overall workload as we go into the second half of the season. He's played a ton of football. He's had a ton of touches. There's a lot of wear and tear on that body so far. There haven't been any injury issues for Stevenson. He's been able to play in every game and participate in every practice, and you still have Damian Harris there to kind of serve as the 1B, it seems now, to Stevenson's 1A. But I'm sure the Patriots would have liked to get Montgomery back just from a depth perspective, but Stevenson is going to continue to be that top guy in there.
Absolutely. Entering the second half of the season, just like you mentioned, one thing that everyone is worried about is this AFC East race. And Zach, it's as tight as it can be right now. And the Patriots have a winning record, but they're in last place in the division. What does a win do for the Patriots as far as the divisional race and as far as their potential playoff position?
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen an AFC East like this. If the season finished today, all 4 AFC East teams would be in the playoffs in the AFC, which is certainly a departure from what we saw for much of the Tom Brady era here. But it's a massively important game for the Patriots. You look at some of the playoff projection metrics that are out there. The Patriots can improve their their playoff odds significantly if they win this game. But if they lose this game, they drop down pretty low because, as you mentioned, they are still in last place in this division, even though they are above 500. They've got the Bills above them. They've got the Dolphins above them. They currently have the Jets above them. If they're able to win this game, they get the tiebreaker against the Jets, which would be important if those teams finish with similar records at the end of the year. But yeah, this is a game that the Patriots really need to win, both from a playoff perspective and from just a momentum perspective. You look at what happened after the bye last year. That's when things really fell apart for this Patriots team. They need to ensure that doesn't happen this year if they hope to be back in the playoffs.
Absolutely. This divisional race, just as crazy as my hair is right now in the win. Zach.
I feel you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.